and I did the update. I closed everything. So let's see what the Zoom gods have in store for us, and
Zoom
see,
gods.
yeah, and see if we are able to get it to work again. Because I mean, it really shouldn't matter. Like it should be just fine. I don't get it. We're according to this, I'm not even using 30% for Bailey.
Need a man.
I'm not
Need a
even using
man.
30% for OBS. So something's not right, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if this fixes the issue or not.
Little man. Oh. Pew-pews. Diffuse. Oh, diffuse. Babies. Look at the little Bailey. Alright. Let's see. Looks like my computer did its thing. Oh, it's gonna be annoying. I already know it. Oh, and
it
one
does
cool
seem like
thing
it's better. Okay.
one cool thing that we're doing in this room, guys, is people are donating posters for the ceiling. If you got a cool poster you're not using, hit us up and we'll see if we can't get you featured in the studio here.
Oh yeah, true. Bless. All right, so I think if all goes well and nothing changes,
Say hi, B.
Bailey.
Yeah, hi, Bailey. Oh,
My stream and YouTube was troubling yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
what'd you do, Carlos?
No, I was reading Elio's comment.
Oh.
Okay. We're good. I think so. It hasn't frozen.
What's with this new Windows up? I like how I'm talking into the mic like it's connected. What's with this new Windows update asking for my credit card information?
What? Like for real?
Yes. I wish I would have shown you before I exited out of it.
That is not a Windows update. Sorry.
It was a Windows update. Like an update, I updated the computer right from the settings and the PC and everything. And then when I was signing in for the last step, how it like connects your phone and sets up your account again for you, it was like, oh, add your credit card number so that when you log in from this account, you're able to make purchases right away. I'm like,
I mean, I know Windows does that, but
no, I'm good. I make my purchases with PayPal.
Yeah, like that's weird. I've never had Windows ask me that. Although
me either. That's new to this update.
Although I can see it for like Microsoft Store and stuff like that as a way to
Yeah, they already have my PayPal information. That's weird.
Hmm.
All right, so my computer's turned back on, and I need to add Zoom here.
Yeah, it sounds sus, Alio, but I'm not sure because I know Windows.
Windows is weird like that.
Yeah,
that's just new.
Wind blows true.
I'm crying.
Well, so far, in this entirety of this ordeal, we've had 0 frame freezes.
What the fuck, y'all? My computer's not working.
Oh god.
I'm gonna lose it.
It never stops. Like if it's one thing, if it's not one thing, it's another. Unbelievable.
I was trying to add Zoom to the apps on my Windows panel when you click the start menu.
Yeah.
And I moved Discord out of the way so I could put Zoom on the bottom and Discord on the top, because that's the way my brain works. Because D comes before Z, the D has to be first.
Correct.
And now I can't move Discord back.
Jesus Christ. Wait, hold on. We've got a massive raid from Bleep Blop Ben with 118 folks joining us today, right as we got everything together. Amazing.
Thank you.
The timing couldn't be better. Howdy.
We love you all.
I hope you had a great stream, Ben. Oh, snap. Thank you so much, Ben. I appreciate you bringing your community. And of course, you...
we promise to take good care of them.
As far as I can see right now, it seems like you caught us just as we were getting our collective shit together. So I appreciate you waiting for us to have a more smoother stream going on before yesterday. If you would have waited, if you would have rated us like a good 10 or 15 minutes earlier, oh man, you would have seen us fumble.
Well, we weren't even online.
Yeah, you would have seen us fumbling around here. But you know what?
Right,
yes,
guys.
That's right. Ben is on TYT right now, so please go check them out. Don't forget that. Twitch.tv/bleepblopben, and check them out Fridays, I believe.
Fridays.
They are they do a special section for TYT. Streaming is an art, not a science. True. 100%. 100%.
All right, guys. Here we go. A
lot of friendly folks here. Okay.
Heck. And better than ever.
Okay. Oh,
but
fingers crossed, folks.
Idiot.
Fingers crossed as we
Okay, now I can hear.
Yes. All right.
I forgot they were plugged into my phone. Oh man. This has been a day. Has this not been a day?
It has, but you know what? That's fine. That's part of the
Let's see if we can't keep this rolling here. And hopefully
that's part of the
nothing
charm.
Screws up.
That's part of the charm. Lost Sue, how's it going?
Welcome.
Oh, I love your purple.
Happy to have you.
True. Breeze purple is always on point. There's no doubt about it.
That's my color, guys.
That is indeed your color. 100%.
I even had a purple Jeep until it burned down.
That is also true. I'm a purple person too. I can see by your name. The color on your name. Thank you for the follow. Okay, so folks, let me just take a second. Thank you so much, Barkley. Thank you so much, Carmen. And Super Navarro for the new follows. Welcome, everybody. So now that we have our collective stuff together, we are A Difficult Truth. We do news and politics Monday through Thursday. And today, Saturday Caturdays, we hang out. We have a more chill vibe and just kind of hang out with you guys. So yes, I appreciate all of you guys hanging out here. I appreciate Ben for bringing his community here.
Yes. We are
Calm like a
happy to have
Tom.
you
Much
guys.
love from Minneapolis, home of the Purple Majesty himself. True.
Oh my. We have been hanging in there, Lasso. Always lots and lots of work going down here at the farm. And, you know, slowly converting towards that homestead lifestyle. Proud to say that I have not bought any peppers this year, or any kale. Carrots are just about ready. We've got tons of tomatoes. We haven't bought any of those. More melons than I know what to do with. Oh my gosh, it is crazy. I'm going to have to try and sell these things. Otherwise, I'm going to just end up feeding them to the chickens, I guess.
I mean, hey, it works. So, I saw the pictures that you sent me about the garden. It looks great.
It's a
The
mess. It's a hot mess
No, but it
because
looks
I haven't
great.
been able to work the garden for like a month now. So it's basically just falling down and doing its own thing.
That sounds like fun. Yeah. Gardening is life, true. Yeah,
Like
Kitty's finally waking up.
I can't wait until next year. I've got so much more plans. Oh, it didn't work this time? Oh yeah, it did. Okay. It just takes a second for it to show up on the internet.
Yeah. Could always put a mini stand up to give away what you want or you're unable to eat. Yeah, or trade. Because I know that.
I already do that. I trade with the neighbors, of course, and also like I just literally will bring bags of like I will take like 10 pounds of
Of food.
produce to work and just be like, okay, y'all, here's what I got. Take
Nice.
whatever. It's up
That's
to you guys to fight over it.
that's amazing. Like 10 pounds of extra
Oh, like minimum, like in
minimum.
one day.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's crazy because
I
what ends up happening is I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll just grow 6 tomato plants, and then all of a sudden I accidentally have 10, and then all of a sudden they start growing up from the ground from the seeds that dropped last year, and I'm just like, oh fuck.
well
What am I
that's
what
well
am I gonna do? I literally can go out there and pull like 5 pounds a day of tomatoes without a problem, and there's still more on the vines. It's nuts. And my kale always takes off.
yeah, I
So
saw the kale.
my six plants, like they're about this big around each and about that full of leaves. So no matter how much I pick out, I never empty it out ever.
Wow.
It's absolutely crazy. And like that's just me growing on a small scale for what I'm doing right now. My first year I only grew a few different plants and I grew a ton of those different plants. Well, this year I'm growing, a bigger variety and not as big a quantity of each of them. But next
True,
year,
Lasso.
I have even more plans. Like, I'm totally going to relocate all the berries that are in my fenced off garden and replant them along the driveway. Um, and that's going to give me twice as much space in the garden where the raised beds are. And I'm going to do more vertical gardening next year, which I didn't do a good job at that this year, but next year I've got plans. So
Nice.
we'll see.
Oh,
It just gets
folks.
better every year.
Yes, folks. Now that thank you. Actually, it just like the thought just like processed in my head. Folks, make sure that you check the stream out next Saturday, August 21st. We will have and I'm sure Ben will appreciate this. We will have a U.S. Senate candidate, Josh Weil, hanging out and sitting with us next Saturday around noon. Just about. So
Yeah.
he is a U.S. senatorial candidate who's challenging Marco Rubio in 2022, and he's been very generous enough to give us some time. So please make sure you join us next Saturday about noon Eastern time, and it's going to be a real special version of this show. So I appreciate in advance Josh Josh Weil for taking the time, and we hope to see as many people and folks spread the word as wide as you can to everyone and anyone that this is a chill place to be for news and politics, and specifically for next Saturday, so that we can get as much exposure as possible for Josh Weil, and we'll be talking, or we hope that we'll be able to talk with him about healthcare, climate change, which are basically at the top of the list for me in my head. More specifically, climate change than anything, but healthcare, climate change, and living wages are among the things that I do want to talk about with Josh Weil, and I hope that y'all are here to listen and see what we can and see how we can help Josh Weil. This is an opportunity to help make a difference in terms of like what we can do. I also want to I also want to discuss the um I also want to discuss the strategies, because I think that a lot of thanks for the follow, Hollywood Cote. Thanks for the follow, Mark Checks. I think that a lot of the ideas, in terms of like, I think a lot of the ideas are there. However, that doesn't always translate to people at the ballot box, right? It doesn't always translate to people at the ballot box. And I want to know if there's anything that could change our ability to get more people out, right? If there's anything that can be done to get people out, to essentially up turnout, right? Because I mean, one of the things that is important to a democracy uh is turnout. Simply, as simple as that, is turnout. So I have a feeling that maybe we're gonna have some great discussions with senatorial candidate Josh Weil, and I hope all of you are there. Ooh,
I think it'll be a good time.
I think so. I think we can. I think we'll have a great conversation. I think there's lots to talk about, and I hope that whatever time he gives us, we'll try to get through as much of the issues as possible. And I appreciate any time that he does give us, so that we can kind of sit down and speak with him. Again, most of my concerns, and I'm sure a lot of people's concerns, especially within like the progressive wing, are like things like climate change and living wage and healthcare. I think these are issues that can be talked about and can reach people. And I want to know what it is that we can do differently to translate those obviously popular ideas into actually people getting out there to vote, and into trying to enact some of these things, right?
Yeah, voting is important.
Voting is important. It may not be everything, but it is a tool. So therefore, I would just, you should use it. Simple as that. Simple as that. So I hope that I hope to see you all there. We do have a couple of videos to go over. So let me bring some of those up, especially now that I think I've got a flow of how to stop the freezing. So I think we can stop the freezing.
Oh no.
Yes. So we will see. I figured that if I switch the views really quickly, it can unfreeze whatever's happening. Yeah. So.
Oh man. Goodness.
I feel that. I woke up today. Ooh. Incredibly exhausted. All right, let me pull up some of this because I saw.
Yeah, Oreo woke me up before my alarm, so I didn't sleep in as much as I wanted to. Little turd.
Oreo.
And, like, the worst thing is that Ed was already awake and taking care of her. She just woke me up because she wanted me to be awake.
I mean, yeah. That's what the cat does.
Have kids, they say.
The cat literally wakes me up religiously at 4 or 5 in the morning by booping me in the face. Like, just boop. Like, excuse you. It is indeed 4 or 5 in the morning. You know what time it is. And I'm like, wait, no, I don't. No, why are you like this, cat?
But it's time to play now.
Yeah, it's time to play or whatever it is. And sometimes it's just her wanting someone to be around her as she's out, like, in the living room.
Yeah.
Because, obviously we're sleeping. But no, she makes the rules here. How dare you, please? Sleep past 4, true. Hey, Peter Parker, how's it going?
Oh, man.
Alright, let's see if we can, if we can get, if we can get this, going here.
If I told you that there was a miracle plant, one that had over 25,000 uses from rope
made a
to
TikTok
clothes to
popular
concrete to
I'm not
medicine.
weird.
A plant that grew quick and tall, that dug its roots deep into the dirt and sequestered tons of carbon back into the soil while sucking up polluting metals back out of it. Could you guess what it is? I'll give you a hint. It's been demonized for its association with its cousin, weed. That's right, this miracle plant is hemp. But in the US, it's barely grown. So why, if hemp can do such good, has it been so villainized in the eyes of Americans? This is the story of how the United States almost had a sustainable hemp-based society and then threw it all away. This video is sponsored by CuriosityStream, which now comes with Nebula for free when you sign up using the link in the description. Hemp, a non-psychoactive strain of the cannabis plant, seems like it can do everything. It's one of the fastest growing plants on the planet. It's able to sequester 15 tons of carbon dioxide into the soil per hectare and crowds out weeds to such an extent that very little herbicide is needed to grow it successfully. When implemented in a crop rotation, hemp can be a boon to farmers. Indeed, the Rodale Institute found in their hemp cover crop trials that yields of soybean and wheat increased in the next year while weed pressure dwindled. This might be in part due to the plant's ability to pull heavy metals like cadmium and lead out of the soil while aerating the subsoil with its root system, ultimately leaving a healthier soil for the next plant. In short, hemp's impact on the soil is minimal while also sequestering a massive amount of carbon in a very short period of time. But hemp's benefits don't end on the farm. As I mentioned earlier, according to the USDA, it has over 25,000 uses. Its seeds are nutrient dense and can be eaten raw or made into milk or oils. Its stalks can be used to make fiber that's stronger, more absorbent, more durable, and better insulating than cotton. And if clothing isn't what you need, then you can make hemp paper or even hemp concrete. That's right, concrete. When you mix the wooden refuse from the hemp fiber making process with a lime-based binder and water, you get a hardened substance similar to traditional concrete. As a result, a meter squared area of hempcrete can sequester up to 16 kilograms of CO2 equivalent over its life cycle. And all of this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are many more applications like insulation that can be made from hemp. So if hemp can fulfill so many needs, then why isn't it all over the place now?
I got some ground up hemp seeds to throw in everything I eat.
Back in 8000 BCE, Mesopotamians were weaving hemp cord into pottery.
Hemp is based.
That's right. Hemp was getting used as far back as 10,000 years ago. In fact, the plant is one of the first cultivated crops. In China, hemp has been continuously cultivated for over 6,000 years, with farmers first converting the crop into textiles and then later in 150 BCE into some of the first paper. And from the paper of the Magna Carta to the very sails that brought the violence of colonialism to the shores of North America, hemp has been part of history. In fact, the early days of the United States were marked by an intensive hemp economy. In 1535, King Henry VIII of England required farmers to sow at least a quarter acre of their land with hemp, because at the time, 80% of clothing was made from hemp. As a result, the American colonial project partly developed on the back of hemp. The first American colony in Jamestown, Virginia, mandated farmers grow hemp in 1619. And soon after, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and the Chesapeake Bay colonies all enacted similar laws. Hemp was even used as a form of currency in some colonies. George Washington farmed hemp, and so did Thomas Jefferson. In short, hemp was a cash crop in the American colonies. But there was a problem. Hemp required a significant amount of labor to harvest and process. This was solved at first by the violent use of forced labor of enslaved people. But as the cotton industry soon took off and the cotton gin made cotton that much quicker to process, hemp products slid into a decline. But the story doesn't end there. Hemp farms in Missouri and Kentucky continued to pump out fibers for sails and textiles throughout the 19th century and into the early 20th century. But it's
They're getting high
in
as
the
fuck.
early years of the 20th century that we begin to see the last threads of the American hemp industry wither away. The American hemp industry was struggling in 1919. Steam engines were replacing hemp sails, cotton was overshadowing hemp clothes, and there was not yet an industrialized mechanism to keep up with the advances of logging and alternative textile industries. But that year, a promising development appeared on the horizon. A man named G.W. Schlichten took out a patent for a machine that would reduce the labor required to produce hemp by a factor of 100. Essentially, it was a hemp version of the cotton gin. Everything was ready for an American hemp boom. The tools were there, the crops were sown, and then because of stoked up racist anti-Mexican and anti-Chinese fears of weed, states like California and Texas outlawed recreational use of the drug. And as a result, hemp's association with its psychoactive cousin gave investors cold feet. So Schlichten wasn't able to take his plans to market. And soon after, hemp farming declined rapidly from 41,200 acres in 1917 to just 600 acres in 1929. America's hemp industry was at death's door. And the final nail in the coffin was the Reefer Madness propaganda campaign of the 1930s.
Yeah, send it to me by whispers. I'll post it in chat.
The campaign was rumored to have been partially driven by
That's right.
newspaper tycoon
Miss Nixon.
William Randolph Hearst's fear of hemp overtaking traditional papermaking operations, as well as the fossil fuel chemical company DuPont's desire to crush any resurgence of hemp that would threaten to compete with their new plastic fiber invention, nylon. Reefer Madness ruthlessly villainized weed, and through association, hemp. Steeped in racism and fear-mongering, the campaign was largely a success in the eyes of its conservative creators, and by 1937, the Marijuana Tax Act was implemented, which placed a heavy tax on the sales of any cannabis product, including hemp products. The tax and the plant's stiff competition left hemp farmers withering. Except for a brief period in World War II where the US government spurred the growth of hemp to create military goods and uniforms.
Hemp for mooring ships, hemp for tow lines, hemp for victory.
By 1958, however, industrial hemp had all but gone extinct in the United States.
I don't know, it's a good question,
But now,
Luke.
in 2021, a new hope is growing for the American hemp industry, one that could possibly point us towards a sustainable, plant-based future with a much smaller impact on the ground and the planet. After almost 70 years of lying dormant, the seeds of hemp are sprouting through American soils once again. As of October 2019, 46 states in the US are allowed to grow hemp for commercial purposes. Hemp was removed from its classification as a Schedule I drug and is now considered a commodity crop in the eyes of the federal
Imagine
government.
hemp a
Driven by
Schedule
boom
I
in
drug.
CBD and hemp-based foods, over 148,000 acres of hemp were farmed in 2019. And the IMARC Research Group predicts that the hemp market will expand by 18% by 2026. This is
I hope so.
promising, but in order to truly live up to its potential, the hemp industry not only needs to develop much more quickly, but also expand outside the realm of CBD. Hemp concrete, hemp fuel, hemp clothing, hemp insulation, and hemp paper could all potentially replace their current counterparts. But the question is, if hemp production is scaled up, will it actually be better than the current industrial agriculture practices, or will it just be another commodity crop like corn?
And I feel that that plant can help us undo the mess that we've made, but we have to approach it right, because we will get nowhere if we continue with the same aggressive industrial behavior.
That's Winona LeDuc, co-founder of Honor the Earth,
Right.
hemp activist, and member of the Ojibwe Nation. Here, she drills down into the heart of the matter when it comes to hemp cultivation. While hemp is certainly more sustainable than the fossil fuel-derived plastics or carbon-hungry concrete we currently use, an industrialized hemp system could very well throw us back into the same hole we've been trying to dig ourselves out of. If we carry over our same capitalist industrial agricultural systems into hemp farming, we're going to get a whole lot of CBD and tired soil. A transition into a hemp economy could, however, offer a pivot point, a point that moves from extractive monocultural farming to regenerative polycultural stewardship. This means using appropriate technologies, no-till methods, compost, and crop rotations among many other systems to not only sequester carbon, but heal the soil as well. And these sustainable methods are already being developed by people like Winona LaDuke, who helped establish the Tribal Hemp Initiative through the Anishinaabe Agricultural Institute. Up in northern Minnesota, LaDuke and many others are working to bring traditional hemp farming techniques in parallel with modern practices to create a thriving indigenous-led hemp industry. An industry that runs counter to a fossil fuel-thirsty industrial agriculture by demonstrating that a more ethical world is already possible. LaDuke is showing us just the tip of the iceberg, because if cultivated properly, hemp could change the world. We just have to pay attention to the soil between our toes, the land all around us, and have the courage to transition to a new agricultural system. If you're interested in learning more about the specifics of hemp concrete, then you're in luck. I wrote a little bonus section about hempcrete, but I didn't feel like it fit well with the rest of the video. I want a house made out of
so
I've uploaded
hemp. That would be
section
dope.
As an extended edition of this video on the streaming platform my creator friends and I built called Nebula. The bonus content replaces this ad because there aren't any ads on Nebula. And you'll not only see a lot of extended editions, exclusive content, and ad-free videos over on Nebula from me, but also from channels like Second Thought and Polymatter. Nebula allows viewers to support creators directly so they don't have to worry about the pesky YouTube algorithm. Nebula is awesome, but it's now made even better with our partnership with CuriosityStream. CuriosityStream is the go-to streaming platform for...
I like this. Speaking of which, Lasu, I learned that the indigenous folks in the South Americas effectively terraformed the entire landscape, and nobody understood it. Nobody put all of that together until more or less what you could consider recently, and it's unbelievable what the societies of the indigenous folks were like, and it is amazing what they did with the land. Because it turns out none of that was natural. They formed it. It was them. Yes, and was able to do many crops and things with it. Absolutely. Some folks were so getting their superiority, they figured that anyone who ain't doing like them get it wrong, but like that's not how all of that works. True. In fact, that is exactly what they stated. You know, that is exactly what they stated, and it is really, really, really interesting. From what I'm reading and trying to like learn, and yeah, absolutely, Lasu. Okay, let me see. We've got oh yes, this one that I wanted to show. All right. True.
Think about wild. When you think of Siberia, you likely don't think about wildfires. After all, Siberia is one of the coldest places on the planet during the winter time, but in summer, temperatures can be rather moderate. But our changing world has made their summers increasingly hotter, and now officials in the region are battling an unprecedented crisis that has implications for all of us. ABC's Patrick Reevell traveled to Siberia to see the fight against the wildfires firsthand.
What can be one of the coldest places on Earth is on fire. Gigantic infernos burning
I'm veg
across
out today.
Siberia
Have a good, lovely
on an
stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. I
unprecedented
appreciate
scale,
it.
A climate catastrophe. The
I'd love to
wildfires
try
burning
farming,
in
but I
Russia
gotta be
now
with
are bigger than
the right
all
neighbors.
fires
Yeah,
raging
true.
across the globe
I mean, if you can get
combined,
like a coalition of
bigger
a
than
couple
those
of
in the US,
neighbors, that
Canada,
could be
Turkey,
really
and
good.
Greece put together.
Yeah, that's what we're
This
doing.
the view as passengers fly into Yakutia, a region 3,000 miles from Moscow. But in Siberia,
Yeah, fires
before
every
you
year.
can
This
fight
time is particularly
wildfires,
fucked. Yeah,
first
yeah.
you have to
That's
get
what
to
makes it
them.
different.
So we're driving out now, hopefully to try and reach one of the fire teams that are working near the village. We've got to drive over this dirt road. You see, it's not really a road.
Yeah, for real. See,
We are in
Saki.
the taiga, and it's not easy going.
That's literally
So the
what
bumper has just been
she's got
torn
going
off
on.
The car on this track. The car that went before us got completely stuck. So hopefully that isn't going to happen to us. Traveling in Siberia, you know.
Swarms of insects mean we need these protective suits.
Made it through that one. It's about 6 kilometers more to go.
We have come to Yakutia because it's one of the front lines of climate change. Much of the region is in the Arctic, and in winter it's one of the coldest inhabited places on Earth. But summers are warm, and this year is seeing an extreme heat wave and historic drought. One of the hottest, driest summers on record. 10 times more fires are burning than usual. Smoke from them has reached Alaska, and for the first time in history, the North Pole.
So this is where we were trying to get to, a camp where the guys are basically going out and trying to fight the fires. They say they don't have enough equipment. They have a tractor over there that's broken down because it doesn't have enough oil.
This group from Russia's Forestry Fire Service, known as Aviales Akhrana, have been here for nearly a month. It is a vastly unequal fight. They say they are short of men and equipment. Afanasi is one of hundreds of local residents who volunteered to fight the fires because of the shortage of manpower.
He's saying if the wind gets up, that will already start to spread all over the trees here. Within 10-15 minutes, it could be everywhere, really.
Jesus Christ, Lasso. Can everybody please check out twitch.tv/Lasso? And let's see if we can spread the word and see if we can help Lasso. Please spread the word. Anything that you can help, throw it their way.
But there is only so much they can do.
Right, Dark Knight. Yeah, just move. You know, there's, it'll be fine.
When the wind gets up, the fire spreads rapidly. Here, another group forced to retreat. And this is what happens when the fires get past the teams. The flames engulfing this village. Over 30 buildings destroyed. Only burnt out cars and smoldering rubble left. The record drought fueling the fires has been linked by scientists to climate change. And the change in Yakutia's climate is already visible. Parts of Siberia are warming twice as fast as the rest of the world.
The smog's really bad this morning. You can really feel it in your eyes,
Wow.
in your throat.
Yeah, that's what Lasso just said.
Nearly a month struggling in the dirty air.
Уже утро, днем не выходим. Утром только днем как